Hello, my name is Diversai, and today we're going to go over the patch 5.9 notes for Legends of Runeterra. Before we get into it, I just want to say I'm a learn by doing kind of person, not a learn by reading, so I have no idea how strong these champions are going to be. This patch is going to go live at approximately 11 a.m. on September 12th because they are observing September 11th and not releasing content tomorrow. So this will be up in approximately 46 and a half hours from the time I'm recording this. So this patch is called Heimer's Lab, and we're introducing Heimerdinger and Ahri as new champions to the Path of Champions. Ahri used to be a champion and was removed and is now coming back. I don't think Heimer was. And we are also getting a battle pass with a bundle and quests. So new feature is the battle pass. This is not a new feature. This is an old feature that they're bringing back, but still cool. I like the battle passes. They're really fun to go through. And the battle pass returns with a new look and feel, updated rewards, and a fresh set of quests. The 5.9 battle pass will be live for the duration of the patch, spanning from September 12th to October 8th. So be sure to hop into the game on Thursday to start completing quests and earning rewards. So we also have, I guess, a duration of when this patch is going to end. One thing with these, a lot of in the past, I don't know if it'll be the same. There was a quest that was repeatable to do, I think, 6 games, and you get a certain amount of currency, and then you need like 600 currency to max your battle pass. You could do this very quickly if you use something like Annie with like 2 Dreadway chase guns and do like a 0.5-star adventure. So the Swift Scout or this new Bilgewater Misfortune adventure. And then you could just do a bunch of games very quickly. If you need to do that, you can finish the entire adventure in like probably under 5 minutes. So yeah, if you need to do that, you have that option available to you. New content, new adventures, all converted from existing story adventures. So this is what they did with the Swain adventure, and now they're doing it with other adventures, but not releasing them at the same, 5-star rating. So we have Bilgewater, which is Misfortune at 0.5 star. The goal with this new adventure, directly converted from a story adventure, is to give new players a second option from the 0.5-star Teemo adventure. Design context: this adventure rewards fragments of the champion you used to beat it, with the exception of Aurelian Soul. He will not entertain being brought into a 0.5-star adventure. He's disappointed you even considered it. Um, I mean, it's free fragments, which is good. You probably don't want to touch this with any of the champions that you already have maxed out. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm not sure if it will reward fragments for those, but you don't want to waste the fragments if it does. I'm also not sure if it just happens like the first time or if it happens for every champion you use. It sounds like every champion you use, which would be really cool. But I have no idea. Won't know until we see it. Noxus is Darius, and he's coming out at 2-star. And the design context is a direct conversion of a story adventure while adding some more choice and extra loot to leveling champs. 2-star adventures are good. You can usually jump right into them if you start with a 3-star champion. I know not everyone might have a bunch of saved up fragments. I do, so I only play my champions starting at 3 stars. But yeah, they're nice to go into. And then the Ionia is a Yasuo 4.5 star. The design context is conversion with the difficulty increase to create another challenge for those seeking it. So it's going to be fun to see what they do with the 4.5 star. The weekly nightmares have been fairly reasonable to go through, and this might be just a fun alternative to Aurelion Soul. The XP might be better too, so it might be something you can do with kind of any champion, whereas Lysandra and Swain, you basically want your champion to be level 30 before you even look at it. So this should be kind of fun. Hopefully it'll be good. New champion, we have Heimerdinger. Before I go into this, I just want to say, when you're considering how to buy these, the Battle Pass is going to have champion fragments for these specific champions. So one thing you can do if you want to, usually you're able to buy them in the store or spend currency to get them. So if you want to do that, you want to spend that currency before you get the wild fragments, because as soon as you get those fragments, you're not able to do that anymore. You're not able to spend the currency on doing that. So it can save you like 30 fragments at the cost of probably like $10 or whatever. So it depends if you value your money or your fragments more. I value my money more, so I'm probably not going to do that. But, just if you were thinking about that, that's the thing. You probably won't have more fragments than you can use because they have full 6-star constellations. So, yeah, there's that. Anyway, back to this. Heimerdinger, everyone's favorite revered inventor, joins the Path of Champions. Heimerdinger not only comes with a full constellation of powers, but he also brings his exceptional wits in ballistics, a machine for sports ball, wait, that invention looks smaller than the diagram. Star powers, his 1-star is science. This is tech allies in hand and in play. Have a random upgrade for each time you've spent 6+ mana on spells. So this is not like Jace's power, it's more like Lux's, where just every time you spend 6 mana, this effect is going to occur. It says tech allies in hand and in play. And I think that's probably just going to be like an always on aura effect. That's how it reads. Like I said, I don't learn by reading, I learn by doing, so I'm not going to really understand the full context of this until I actually play it out. The 2-star is Pursuit of Progress, +1 starting mana, as always, and when you summon a unit, refill 1 spell mana. So when Heimerdinger is on the board, when you play a spell, you'll be able to summon a unit, so you might get into a loop of playing units and refilling a spell mana, and if you have something else like Augment, you might be able to do that like infinity times and get infinity power. I think that's probably a thing that will happen. His 3-star is Science 2. Tech allies in hand in play have a random upgrade from an improved pool of upgrades for each time you've spent 6+ mana on spells. I don't know what these random upgrades are, so we'll see how that plays out. Sounds fun though. Sounds like you're going to have like wide boards and you're going to be able to get those by playing spells, and that all sounds pretty cool to me. This 4-star is Dust Sprinkle. This is a common. When you summon a created ally, grant it +1/+1. This is a downgraded version of the Dust Stash, which grants them +2/+2. The 5-star power is Mana Flow. Game start, get a Mana Gem. I think the only person that's ever been different on is Kai'Sa, and so this is just expected. The 6-star power is Eureka. Tech allies in hand and in play start the game with 3 random improved upgrades. Game start, summoning a Mark 0 Wind Up Shredder. I don't know what these improved upgrades are, but considering that this is a 6-star power, I'm assuming they're very strong, because otherwise this 6-star power sounds really lame. So this might be a case of like you start the game and then you win it. I don't know. We'll have to see. It really depends on what these random improved upgrades are. That's if it's a 6-star power, I assume they're very strong. Ahri is our next champion. The 9-tailed fox has rediscovered her roots in the Path of Champions with brand new powers and a full constellation. I don't remember old Ahri. I played it and I used her. I have no idea what any of that looked like. It was a long time ago. But we have her new thing, and her 1-star power is Spirit's Blessing. When you recall an ally, grant it Spirit. That's not that great, because you have to recall it in order to do it, which means you have to replay it. So on its own, this 1-star is bad. It's not bad. It exists. But like when combined with the 2-star, which is Whispers from Past Lives, +1 starting mana units keep permanent stat buffs, and keywords are when recalled. When you recall an ally, reduce its cost by 1. So now this actually starts to like work out. You get to recall your allies, give them spirit, and then replay them at cost reduction. They will keep that spirit. The more times you can recall them, the more spirit buffs you're going to get. So it might end up looking something like Lilia, depending on how well you have the ability to recall. Ahri herself can recall allies, so that's good. And yeah, we'll see how that ends up playing. The 3-star is Spirit's Blessing 2. When you summon or recall an ally, granted spirit. So this will be getting your allies' spirit twice, basically, when you recall them, and then getting it on replay as well. So yeah, all this together sounds really fun to me. I'm pretty excited for how this looks. The 4-star is Hold It. Round start, stun the strongest enemy. Hold It's just generally good power. It makes you much safer. You might not want to be taking blocks with Ahri, depending on how that goes. So we'll see. Yeah, Hold is a good defensive power. Maybe not the most synergistic thing, but it is, a very strong defensive power. So not bad to have. 5-star is, of course, Mana Flow. Game start, get a Mana Gem. And the 6-star is Parting Gift. This is when you recall an ally, it strikes the enemy nexus. I think this has the opportunity to be insane. So, like, you can imagine Ahri with Hymn of Valor and Lost Chapter. Maybe you find a way to recall her. Maybe Curator's Gatebreaker is another thing you put on her. So every time you recall her and replay her, you're doubling her power and it's striking the nexus twice. Yeah, that sounds like a blast to me. Or when you attack with a full board, Ahri is going to recall each of those, and everything is just going to strike the enemy nexus. It honestly sounds amazing. Sounds like it's going to be really fun. I might spend money on that because I do not have any Ionia shards. The new pay-to-win relics are Essence Theft. This is Ahri's when you recall another unit, grant me +1/+0. Again, because of her 2-star, this is going to be permanent on her. Even if you recall her. And Power Game Start, create a Homecoming in hand and grant it double time watch. I mean, that's fine. That gives you something to recall. And I know Homecoming is in Ahri's base deck. We haven't gone over that. We'll go over that when the game actually comes out and we play it. But yeah, Homecoming is in her base deck. I'm not sure if this will grant it to every double time watch. I think historically it will, but who knows for sure until we see it. Item, this is Heimerdinger's pay to win, is defense spending. Power, your Nexus has tough, I am tech. I am tech works on anything that cares about subtypes. So like Nico cares about subtypes. Also Beast Within cares about subtypes. The power your Nexus has tough is an upgraded turret plating. So this will be especially good on Swain, but on top of that, just reducing all the damage you take by 1 forever without your champion being on board is a pretty strong application. We'll see how it works out. You do, of course, have the opportunity cost of not using a different relic in its place, but your Nexus having tough isn't bad. It's actually very strong. And of course, the power we saw as Heimerdinger's 4-star is Biggleda Sprinkle. It's a common version of Biggleda Stash. When you summon a created ally, grant it +1/+1. This is a new common power that is the same as Heimerdinger's 4th power, but available in the pool. So we'll have to see if this hits the pity power thing. If you do when you're playing Nora, let's say you lose a Nora run, then you would be able to get that. Other things create allies too. So this might be like a decent pity power pickup. Also, Biggleda Stash is really good, so maybe this is just a good power as well. The new bundles, we have the Battle Pass bundle, so that's just going to have the Battle Pass. Previously, there were premium and free rewards from the Battle Pass, and buying the bundle was like $10. Gave you access to all the premium options. I think it's worthwhile. Kind of depends on your financial situation, I guess. The Heimerdinger Champ bundle and the Ahri Champ bundles, so there's going to be 3 of them. For both of them, there's a Celebration, a 4-star, and a 5-star bundle. The Celebration bundles, I think, cost $10, and they do have the pay-to-win relic in them. And so, yeah, this doesn't outline what's inside of those bundles, but you can just look at any of the previous bundles, and it's probably exactly the same. It's going to be some amount of shards, some amount of crystals, some extra vaults, depending on which bundle they are, and they cost varying amounts of money. Yeah, I tend to not buy the 4 and 5-star, but I do buy the Celebration ones. Content change list. These are changed bundles. Starting with patch 5.1, feature champion-specific constellation bundles will begin cycling out of store. These bundles will remain in store and available for purchase for roughly 5 patches before they are taken down. Therefore, each patch starting with 5.10 will see bundles that released 5 patches prior removed from the store. Please keep this in mind so you don't miss out on your favorite Champions Constellation bundle. So upcoming rotated bundles include in 5.10, I don't know if it's 10 or 10. I don't know how people count. Players will no longer be able to purchase Lux Illuminated bundles, Misfortune bundles, or Volibear bundles. So with these, like I said, the celebration bundles give you the pay to win relics. Probably those will eventually cycle into the free pool or be re-released on their own. We've seen Starforged Gauntlets come back. I think that's the only thing we've seen come back so far. Um, I don't, and I think that one's still for money. So yeah, I don't know. Pick it up now if you want. It's probably better than buying the Epic Relic on its own. I think Lux's Relic is kind of bad, except for that it gives Lux +1 mana, and +1 mana is always good. You would always take +1 mana. In a lot of champions, you spend 2 relics to get +1 mana with Starforged Gauntlets and like Luminous Orb. So, that's something to consider. Misfortune has Shock and Awe. So that is when you attack, you do one with a 1 or less cost ally. I should just bring these up so I can look at them. You do like a ping. All right, I brought them up like a responsible person. Shock and Awe is power when an ally that costs 1 or less attacks deal 1 to the enemy nexus. It can be increased by things that increase the power of skills. So Misfortune 6-star power super relevantly does that. But I think if you're not using like low cost units, this probably isn't that relevant. And if you don't have Misfortune 6-star, doing 1 damage probably isn't super relevant, but with Misfortune 6-star, it's incredible. Volibear's is Icon of Valier. Your elementals, spells, and skills do 2 extra damage. This is a power. I think people use it on Talia as well. Neither of these give you extra mana, so, you know, um, they're less, I guess, required than otherwise, but I mean, they're still good on those specific champions and occasionally find use in other champions as well. And then in 5.11 or 5.11, players will no longer be able to purchase Swain bundles, Celebration 4-star and 5-star, or Viego's bundles. I don't think Viego actually had a Celebration or 4-star bundle. I think he only had a 5-star bundle. I looked and I couldn't find any evidence that he had a Celebration or 4-star bundle. And he does not have his own epic relic, so yeah, I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, correct me. It doesn't really matter. If you want to buy it, buy it. And the Swain bundle, the Celebration bundle, does have Swain's Raven Army, which is power game start, drain 5 from the enemy nexus. And then on play, if you are Swain, refill your spell mana. So this is actually seen uses in other places. If you have like low cost champions, you can automatically trigger Plunder with this power. Um, so yeah, you have that option, and I think it's maybe one of the most relevant epic relics because if you use it with like 2 Scourges Stash or Pact Powder, if you let's say you have anything that costs 6 or less as a champion, game start you deal 5 damage. It gives you those 2 Plunder triggers, and then you're able to play your champion immediately. It's really good mana cheating, so it has come up sometimes. I haven't used it extensively outside of Swain, but it does sound like a fun thing to do, so just keep that in mind. And then for Changed Adventures, Piltover and Zon, Teemo, the 0.5 star, the Swift Scout. This adventure gains some additional slot relics, which reward fragments of the champion you used to beat it. So I don't know how many slot relics this is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be for every champion, just like on the Misfortune one earlier. I have no idea. But definitely don't go into that with champions that you already have maxed at 3-star that don't have constellations yet. Burn those slots out on other champions first. And then for bug fixes, They fixed an issue where Caitlyn's 6-star power perfect aim would reduce the cost of ace in the hole whenever an enemy boon was activated. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And updated the description of the Hextech rifle relic to better fit the text box, and the functionality has not changed. So that's it in review. Let's go back to the top. We have 2 new champions. We are getting the Battle Pass back. That's probably going to replace the weekly quests. So that kills one of my videos. That's fine. Battle Pass is cool and fun and relatively cost effective for what you get out of it. For new bundles, we're going to get the Heimerdinger and Ahri champion bundles. And in the future, if you want the Lux, Misfortune, or Volibear bundles, you need to buy them before October 8th. And then after that, if you want the Swain and Viego bundles, you're going to need to buy those probably before sometime in November. And we're getting a few new adventures with the Misfortune, Darius, and Yasuo adventures coming in a form that isn't just their story adventure. So all in all, this looks like a lot of fun. I'm really excited to play with the new champions, and we'll be doing that as soon as the patch is available. On Thursday, I'll be making videos on first playthrough where we just see what the champions look like. I'm probably gonna start with them at 3-star because it's more fun, and then we'll also do a run through with them against Aurelion Sol, against Lysandra, and against Swain, and we'll see how difficult that is to do. From a early reading on it, they both look like they're going to be pretty strong and definitely look fun to play. So I'm excited about that. Also, Heimerdinger will be taking Vandal City Nova Crystals instead of PNZ. I know PNZ is overloaded on how many Nova Crystals you need for that. So that's a nice thing. Anyway, that is all. If you like what I'm doing, like and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.